pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We are with you, Dr. Motley.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our May 10th work session here with our Board of Education. Just a couple of highlights I would like to share with those who may be watching now or in the future. We kicked off our Superintendent's Art Show this past Friday, and we have a number of pieces, in fact, over 120 pieces of student artwork on display. I'm so proud of our students. They are so talented in so many ways, but the artwork is displayed in a number of local businesses, also the Wingate, which was someone new this year that we were happy to bring along, and I'm just thrilled that we have an opportunity for our students to display their talent and for all the public to enjoy. I continue to visit classrooms and buildings and events throughout the district, and last week I had the opportunity to go over to Stranahan Elementary, where Renee Stack took me on a brief tour during a social emotional learning period that takes place during the school day. And I'm so proud of our folks because our educators, specifically Renee and a couple other folks that she works with, designs developmentally appropriate lessons for each grade level in the building. And it's about a 25-minute lesson of activities and engagement, and I just happened to have the chance to see the theme of the day, and it was learning about their positive characteristics of themselves, like what were great characteristics that they possess, things that they were proud of. And it was just so nice to see children focused on what they're proud of and learning about themselves and how that makes for a great learning environment and makes the world a better place. I will also share that last Wednesday, I had the honor and privilege of throwing out the first pitch at the Northview-Southview game, as Ms. Huffman chuckles a little bit. I just want to say I had great form. The ball didn't quite make it across the plate, but I did have great form. But I enjoyed being with the young men and their coaches out on the field. It was an absolute first experience for me, and it was a lot of fun. And I hope I get a second chance to redeem myself. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm looking forward to this Saturday night. About 8:30, 8:45, I will be visiting the Northview Dance Gold event here at Northview High School, and I'm thrilled about it. I've heard so much about this traditional event. Should be a blast, so I'm looking forward to spending some time with our students on Saturday evening. And that's all I have for today.
All right, thank you. Well, now we have a presentation. Sylvania Schools Foundation?
Yes, we have Mr. James Hall, who is joining us this evening. Mr. Hall is the director of our Sylvania Schools Foundation and Alumni Relations, and he has an update on some of the projects and activities that have been going on throughout the course of the school year. So he's going to present, I believe, also on the website for the Alumni Association. So, Mr. Hall, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me. Or should I say Dr. Motley? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
She said
fine.
I could call her Veronica.
This is true.
So I'm going to pass out some folders. Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Doing Tim. I think last time when we tried to show the website, the breadth of what the website could do, we had some technical difficulties that didn't allow us to really show it off. One of the things that I think is really important, I think the world of the website, because in this position, you're often trying to do a job where really it takes 2 or 3 people to do it. And so what the website enables you to do is to combine a lot of different objectives and to be able to get it out to alumni and people in the community at one time. It is intensive when it comes to like being able to manage it, update it, and those type of things. But I think we're at the point now where we can turn it over to our alumni committee, and then they can start to run it, and then this position will oversee it. But what I did this time, so we didn't run into any technical difficulties, I got here early with Jody, so she could help us out. And then I have a good friend of mine named Krishna, all the way from India, where it's 3 o'clock in the morning right now, but he agreed to join us today and kind of walk us through the website and then give some examples of how the website can work, help us with fundraising, getting information out, and so on and so forth. Krishna, are you there?
Yeah,
You went to sleep.
we can't see.
Krishna. Yeah, talk up a little, if you can turn the volume up a tad bit more.
Sure, I'll try to be as loud as possible.
All right. All right, go ahead, Krishna, you're up.
All right, yeah, thanks for the introduction, James. The reason why I'm here is that I just wanted to give a quick summary of what this platform can do. So it offers all kind of solutions which an alumni program needs, starting from a user directory, which looks like this, where users can just come in and if they are verified by the admins, they can look at other peers, they can send messages to them and connect with them. It also acts as a database where you can capture a lot of very relevant details for any alumni, which is including the preferences, their interests, their phone number. All of this is confidential, so only the admin and the user themselves can see it, so there's no chance of all of this information going out without the authorization. This platform also offers membership management, where you can just simply list all the membership plans that you have, and users can just come in and opt for relevant memberships. You can also design the platform access levels in a way that membership is supported of that. So one feature can be accessed by a few membership types and a few not. Then the very important feature which is being used across all the school districts we work with is the events part, where starting from different smaller events or virtual events to the unions and also the being hosted on the platform, which makes the whole registration process, tickets process a lot more easy and convenient. So it's just one person who can do all of that for multiple events at one time. Then you have the fundraising piece, which is again a very critical part, which helps you raise funds for the different causes and needs for the school district. We can definitely create different campaigns and put it out where any user can come here onto the platform and make a gift. The very important aspect to know is both events and giving piece is a platform agnostic part, where you don't necessarily have to be part of the platform to be able to register for an event or make a gift. We do not want the registration process to become a friction point in that experience or in that engagement. Then it also acts as a content library where you can list down a lot of information, whatever you want to communicate to your audience. Some of the examples are business directories can be listed here, user stories and classrooms can be listed here. All of that is possible. You can also have your announcements and scholarship details, all of that can be listed out here so that anyone who's coming on this platform clearly knows what are the needs or what are the causes the platform related to other community related to. On the back end, you get a very robust email communication tool where you can do the communication at scale. You can reach out to a lot of members and in some cases all the members of the platform. There are some of the default templates which have been added already, which is more towards the features of the platform, but our team helps getting this to the next level where you can reach out to us with a specific use case and we'll build out a template for you. Then you have the data studio side where the personalization at scale happens. So you have different filters which you can reach out to, like for example, preferences one, and if let's say I want to reach out to anyone who has shown an interest to mentor young alumni, so that I can reach out to them and I can ask them to contribute, as that feels like that option. And I'll get that list now. I can reach out to those people because they have shown an interest to be a volunteer in the mentorship program. and then you can take the program forward. Not only that, the filters are almost in every aspect. Like you have filters for area, city, country. You have filters for class year, specialization, industry, and whatnot. So whatever field is there on the profile page, you will have that as a filter. It's a structure, right? And the last part, another very important aspect is the community, where you can have community based on class year, based on 50 groups. This has been a model of engagement where you create a community, you assign some community items that may not be the part of the alumni team itself, but those community items can actually come onto the platform, engage with the content, engage with the people which are out there as a part of the community. So this is more on the feature side. There's a lot more details on the back end on how exactly things work. And with all of this comes the strategic assistance which our team gives. Then I think strategic assistance is more about whatever use case or whatever program you are planning to implement. We help you build that program. We help you. We will work with you side by side to make sure that that program is implemented on the platform. We talk about strategies to promote that platform and things like that. One recent example of what we were working on is event, a virtual run, which we were planning to do. So we have some registrations out here. This was done very recently. The last meeting we were able to come through on this. We have given out details, registration information there. And majority of all of the information which is here is documented. So you can actually put it out what we want in this following the approach. Some of the other examples can come of other school districts on how they're using it. So I spoke about communities. So they are having communities like this. So this is not in community. They have different affinity groups and athletic groups, communities listed on the platform. And then some people are hard-bid to engage with themselves. This is one unique program which has been very popular. So the Hall of Fame program where the alumni community gets to nominate someone as part of the program. You can list all of those details here. You can fill out the nominations and all of that process can happen. The list process as well as the listing can happen on the platform. So we have the forms where nominations can happen. You have the reports which can help you find out who has been nominated. And then obviously the listings will come onto the platform as well. Events I was talking about, so if you see there's a very extensive list of events which these customers have to track. Not only select a lot of events on the platform, including the events and public events that we need. Right? Then the last piece is again this one alumni spotlight kind of program where anyone who has done an exceptional service in any field can be listed out here. And all of this data can be crowdsourced from the community itself. And you do not have to do a lot of research. You just have to create or enable the community to give you that information in the form of different options different features that you have on the platform. I have this to talk about, but I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has about what the platform can do and how we can do it.
Krishna, thanks. If I could say a few things about Krishna. Krishna is from alma base, and he is the person that was assigned to our account. He has gone overboard with helping us. Anytime a person will agree to a Google Chrome Zoom meet at 3 a.m. in the morning, I thank you for all your help. I know you believe in it, and I believe in it also, and I think we just got to be a little more diligent and continue to work with the program, and I think it'll be a success. We ran into COVID at a time when we had a lot of events planned that were going to be outside that would allow alumnus at alumni type meetings and games that would have allowed us to sign up people. But we are just getting to the point now where we think we have things the way we want them, and we can kind of start reaching out to folks and getting them to join the Alumni Association. We also, this is our first event, and in your packets I put a couple flyers about Alyssa Gottschalk, who was a teacher in our school district, a very popular teacher. She died of cancer in 2016, and her husband, I've been working with her husband. Usually the event is held outdoors. It starts at Southview, and we have a course mapped out. It's a 5K. But this year, obviously, we end up with a fish fry at the end of it. But this year, the last couple of years, we weren't able to do it, so we decided to do a virtual run. And we have 2 websites where you can go, obviously our alumni website, and then there's a running website that John and Alyssa belong to, and they can also sign up there. So this is the first time that we've kind of invited individuals to come and look at our website from an event standpoint and join. And all we ask them to do is, obviously after they pay the $25 fee, is to send in pictures, whether they run, walk, or crawl. They send in pictures of the event so we can share them with other alumni. But, so that's the first event that we're having on our website. Krista, you're free to go, man. Go get some sleep. Thank you. In the packet also, you'll see that there's a Northview Wellness Center explanation of what the 2 phases are, phase 1 and phase 2. And then at the bottom, you have a funding phase and how the foundation proposes to raise the funds to build the wellness center. The first year, we have 4 advertisement commitments and contracts, and basically it's $5,000 a piece for 5 years. Our loan with the bank is stretched out over 5 years. This is typical for the foundation. When we did the stadium at Southview, we did it this way also. And then the second piece of that in the first year is we've approached 3 families, and we've asked $75,000 a piece from those individuals. The second year, we have a donor out of California, and we're looking to have a naming gift of at least $150,000. The third year, we're going to have a vending campaign, which we'll probably move that up to the second year. We'll reach out. In this district, we've never really reached out to our vendors to ask them to support some of the things we do, so we'll be looking at that. And we'll look at the 4th and 5th year as cleanup to collect the pledges going forward. The next page, you have a
James, I have a quick question.
yes.
The first year, do you have those secured? Are those
The contracts.
well for the funding? The first year funding, the 5-year contracts, and then the family gifts. Are those committed or no?
We have the contracts for the advertising.
Okay.
So that's the first 100, and
Right.
then we have the ask for the. We're in the process of doing that now.
Okay. All right.
And we're kind of, we don't like to say who they are because as we
Sure.
work through this, we,
Right. Okay.
keep their privacy.
Yep. No, I understand.
But, yeah. Any questions, any other questions on the wellness center? The next page, we have just the events of things that we have for the next couple months. We spoke of the Alyssa Gottschalk virtual run, which is the whole month of May. That's not a certain date, that's all of May. In June, we have a foundation newsletter that's going to go out. It's a 4-page deal. It's currently with Cooper Smith. They do a lot of printing for us, or at least the design and setting it up for us for free. And then we go out and pay for the printing of it. So that's there now, and we're at a hold. It'll come out June 1st because they're slammed right now. And so as soon as they, in the next couple of weeks, they'll clear up some time for us, and we'll get that out. July 1st, met with Jody, Tess, and a few other people. They want to do an alumni meet and greet. We haven't had a chance to get out and meet with individuals and talk to individuals about what's going on. So we look to do that in July. The Vindy campaign, which I talked about earlier, we'll start that process because there's plaques and the design that goes with it. So we'll start that process early. And then October 22nd and the 23rd is the Hall of Fame athletic weekend, which was moved up a week. It's usually the Halloween weekend, but with the alternate schedules from football games this year and last year, they moved it up 1 week. So with that, we have to kind of switch where we're gonna have it at. The Sylvania Country Club is no longer available for that first week, so we're gonna look to move it to another venue. We should have information about that by the end of the week. The next sheet is projects of interest. Although when you're working with a foundation and you're working with a district, sometimes things happen where you're not able to participate wholly in the event, but we still need to work with individuals and groups. So these are some things that are still on the agenda so far as supporting them. The weight room and training facility at Southview, softball batting cage at Southview, artificial turf at Southview, and then outdoor activities to promote the foundation. Some of these things I spoke to Tim about that are a little more urgent than others, and I'm sure in the near future they'll probably be a part of these board meetings. So, but we'll continue to work with them. We'll continue to support them, and in hopes of making the foundation, build relationships with the foundation and the community. And I'm glad that they even call us at the foundation and ask us if we could be a part of these things, because that shows that at least they know that we're out there, and we won't turn them away, and we'll work with them. The last sheet in the packet is we're fortunate and blessed to have had teachers, memorials, people give gifts for scholarships. These are the scholarship winners for this year. The Zimmerman Award, which is usually the valedictorian at the schools, but we don't do that anymore. The Zimmerman individuals will get a $1,000 scholarship check to go along with this award. The Babyak Award, I think it's for volunteerism, and we had 2 individuals from Northview and Southview win that one. The Graver Award is for science, and it's just at Southview. So the young man won that. The Thicken Award, which is our biggest scholarship, is from a lady named Marjorie Thicken, who was an educator here, and she left us just short of $1 million. It was endowed, and each year it's broken down into 2 categories. One is for professional development for teachers. We call them teacher grants. And then the other half is for scholarships to students. We run this through the Toledo Community Center Foundation. And this year, winners were, we had 3 from Northview. We didn't have any, unfortunately, from Southview. And then the second part of that is the Thicken scholarships have a renewal property to them. And this year we had 3 individuals from Northview that renewed their sophomores in college, and we have 1 from Southview. We usually present these awards at the assemblies or the graduations, and this year Nadia will present for Northview. Nadia Swade, a foundation board member. Dave Speaks will be her backup, and I will present for the assembly at Southview. If there is no more questions or concerns, I will get out of you guys' way.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
No, thank you, James.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hall.
Okay, this is the first opportunity for public participation for items which are on the agenda. Seeing none, we are back with you, Dr. Motley.
Thank you very much. I am recommending make sure I'm on the right spot here, item 5.1. I recommend for approval. It is a donation of a box of 500 disposable face masks from Steve Haymore of Allen Industries, located here in Toledo, Ohio, and he is donating the masks to McCord Junior High.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Steve.
Haymore. Ms. Shanks?
Ruslan Slutsky,
Yes.
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin,
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item is item 5.2. We are recommending the approval of an agreement with ProMedica for school nurses and additional clinical services beginning August 1st of 2021, and the contract would run through 2024. I know that early on, adjoining Sylvania schools, it was brought to my attention that there was a desire to expand our medical support in each of our buildings. And through this contract, we will be including additional medical support, which includes school nurses and a level of LPNs throughout the district for all our schools to benefit from.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? So what's the coverage over the schools?
I have the contract, I believe. What we're looking at right now, I believe, is 7 nurses, 8 nurses. Oh, goodness gracious. Mrs. Shanks, could you assist me, please?
10 nurses.
So there were some buildings that are going to have full coverage and other buildings will share.
Yes, and that was based on the need, and that was from input from the existing nurses back to their supervisor at ProMedica. They had a conversation about that. So it was based on their recommendation. So we have 4 buildings that have low needs. So they think that they can share the nurse, 1 nurse equally. So we have two nurses that will cover 4 buildings, and then 8 nurses that will cover 8 buildings. And in addition to that, ProMedica is absorbing the cost of a lead nurse, and they'll be able to assist as well. And develop policy and procedures and manuals and best practices.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
Will that start this coming school year then?
Yes, so
Yes.
because we're with ProMedica currently, there's not going to be any kind of disruption in services. So they'll continue on working through the summer. They've just hired a new lead nurse. She's coming from the emergency room at Toledo Hospital. So there's going to be continuity with the nurses and the services.
I think one of the things we're also very pleased about in discussing the details of the contract, they're also looking to expand services to provide wellness workshops for our staff and for parents, especially with childhood diabetes, which we all know is on the rise. It's particularly high in Lucas County, and they have offered to provide learning sessions, if you will, for our parents, evening events where they can learn more about healthy lifestyles and how to prevent diabetes, or how, if your child has it, what are some healthy tips to take home to help our children be a little healthier. And also a level of support where we're looking at not just school nurses, but also an LPN of sorts to also serve in our school clinics. And again, we really welcome the collaboration with ProMedica. I know that Ms. Shanks has been involved, Mr. Zirov. We have another meeting coming up here in the near future to continue to design what that will look like. And we've left the window open for a conversation if we need to tweak. Because especially with our students with specific needs that can be pretty involved, we want to make sure we're providing the adequate support they need.
Just to chime in as well, and I know Dr. Motley just alluded to it, but there's a group of administrators tomorrow meeting with ProMedica and some other administration as well, just about behavioral and mental health support for our students moving forward. So they've been very collaborative, very willing to work with us and focus on the needs we have. So it's been a good relationship.
Okay, thank you. Anybody, anything else? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman?
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin?
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky?
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette?
Yes.
Greg Feller?
Yes.
Thank you. We recommend item 5.3, the appointment of Sandra Bear, Executive Assistant to the Superintendent. She actually began on May 5th, and she will be placed at step 7 on the exempt salary schedule. To let you know a little bit about Sandra, I tell you she's jumped in with both feet, and she's already working through a transition period with Ms. Mayer, who was my former assistant. But she was a principal secretary in Sand Creek International School, located in Colorado Springs. She's also worked with adult and family education programs in Colorado Springs in school district number 11. So she brings a wealth of experience, quite knowledgeable about technology. She was definitely the go-to person. We checked out all of her references, and they were absolutely stellar. In fact, they hated to see her leave, but she's relocating back to Ohio. My understanding is she moved to Colorado initially to take care of her mother, so she's now back home here in Sylvania, where she resides with her husband.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman?
Yes.
Greg Feller?
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette?
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin?
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky?
Yes.
And welcome to Sandra.
Welcome.
We'll try not to make her crazy.
It'll be fine. She's already jumped in. She's like already being very proactive and taking a lot of initiative, so
Great.
it's good. Item 5.4, we recommend approval, which is an annual item where we are once again joining the Ohio High School Athletic Association for Arbor Hills Junior High School, McCord Junior High School, and Timberstone Junior High School, in addition to Northview and Southview High Schools. Again, this is an annual item.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Greg Feller?
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette?
Yes.
Julie Hoffman?
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky?
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 5.5, I recommend the appointment of Laura Lowe as Director of Disability Services for a 2-year contract starting August 1st. She will have a 229-day contract. And just to tell you a little bit about Laura, who is here in the audience tonight, she drove in to join us. Thank you for being here, Laura. I'm going to brag about you just a little bit so the folks can get to know you. But she has a strong vision, and she truly believes in supporting cohesive, systemic organizational practices that equips all staff to challenge all students to achieve at their highest academic level. She continuously strives towards supporting the district by establishing a shared vision of excellence for all students, implementing innovative and evidence-based instructional practices that also align with the implementation of IDEA. A little bit about her professional background. She was a school improvement consultant where she served on the State Support Team Region 1, which, if you aren't aware, that's the ESC Lake Erie West District. And also she has served as a special services director for pre-K-12, as well as a preschool director. And she's also served as an intervention specialist, all the way from 6th grade to 12th grade. So you have a wealth of knowledge and experience. Laura, we are so glad and proud and happy that you are here to join our team, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
I will move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Welcome aboard. We're happy to have you.
Welcome.
Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman?
Yes.
Greg Feller?
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky?
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette?
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin?
Yes.
Thank you. I recommend item 5.6. Essentially, it is additional days for transition and consultant days for Laura Lowe. She will be working in the transition with Ms. Gave and our consultant, Carla Spangler, just to make sure we are doing everything we need to do to make sure the school year starts off smoothly, and that is up for up to 10 days as needed.
I'll move for approval. I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Greg Feller?
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky?
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 5.7, we recommend approval of an MOU between the Board of Education and SEA in regards to a position change at Highland Elementary.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Bruce Lanslutsky.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 5.8, we recommend approval for a service agreement with the Sylvania Board of Education and A&G Education Services, also known as LEAP. This program serves a variety of our students, I believe up to 10 students per year that we have contracts for. And these are our students that their least restrictive environment is outplacement during the day in another facility. This is also an annual item.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Bruce Lanslutsky.
Yes.
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 5.9, we have several policies for your approval. If you would like to take note, they're from controversial issues to property inventory, capital assets, wellness, and et cetera.
This is our second read on these, right?
That is correct.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Bruce Lanslutsky.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Item 5.10, this has been a very healthy section tonight. 5.10, I recommend approval for the use of IDEA Part B funds for facility renovations. More specifically, we have 2 classrooms in the district that we need to place a door between the 2 classrooms. One of these sites is at Stranahan Elementary, the other site is at Southview High School. These are allowable expenditures, but we do need board approval because they are federal funds that are being used.
I'll move approval. I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Bruce Lanslutsky.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Thank you. It looks like we're with you, Ms. Shanks.
Thank you. I have one item on the agenda, and that is agreement with Julian and Grube. They are a CPA firm out of Columbus that have completed our compilation of our annual financial statements, or the CAFR, for many years. And I'm asking to approve a 3-year agreement. That was the most cost-effective. There's a savings if we enter into a 3-year agreement.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Who seconded? Kim? Okay. Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Bruce Lanslutsky.
Yes.
Thank you. We are back to you for Human Resources, Dr. Motley.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 7.1 through 7.9, we are recommending approval on a consent agenda basis. Item 7.1 is an athletic supplemental resignation. Item 7.2 is the awarding of a remaining supplemental for the school year, more specifically for a weight room supervisor. We also have item 7.3, which is an unpaid leave of absence. Item 7.4, we have one individual who is actually provided their resignation for the remainder of the school year. We have 7.5, look at us, we have a big number, look at us, absolutely, for licensed substitute teachers. And I do want to make note that many of these individuals are recent graduates. So we have been beating the drum to help them get on board and get in the classroom. It's a great experience for them. Also gives us an opportunity to give them a little bit longer of an interview while they work with us. And so that's also a win-win for both of us. At least I see it that way. Item 7.6, we have recommendations for 4 teachers who will be job sharing this year. They are at Central Trail and Hillview. Item 7.7, we recommend the approval of a home instructor for the 2021 school year, so it is just finishing out the remainder of the school year. Item 7.8 is extra duty pay for a number of individuals. This looks at also providing services for these folks. They'll be helping our ES L program this summer. We also have, of course, the home tutoring teacher who will be working with a student who is homebound. We also have an employee we're recommending for SVA, which is our Sylvania Virtual Academy for credit recovery opportunities. My understanding this was also recommended last year. And you'll see a list of several Southview High School teachers that will be working on PBIS plans and establishing a student support team that will focus on student mental health. And this is in collaboration with the University of Toledo, who wrote a grant, and these folks will actually be compensated out of those monies. Item 7.9, we have one new teacher, Chadford Woodruff will be joining us for next year. He will be teaching music at Stranahan Elementary. And item 7.10 is a recommendation for approval of aforementioned items.
I'll move for approval on a consent agenda basis, items 7.1 to 7.9.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Thank you. We have a number of items under 8.4, or Human Resources, item 8. We have item 8.1. We have classified resignations where we have 2 individuals. We also have item, let's see here, making sure I'm getting this correct, item 8.2. We have also a few personnel items that are for classified. A server that includes from Northview going to Southview. We also in item 8.3 have a couple of retirements. And if you note the first one, Barbara Hughes, she's been in our district for 38 years. That's like amazing and unheard of in some cases. So congratulations to Barbara. We appreciate all the work that you have done to make sure that our students are safe and are comfortable in our classrooms as you were a paraprofessional. So thank you for the work that you did to support our students. Also, we have John McMahon, who will also be retiring. He has 14 years of service with Sylvania Schools, so thanks to both of them. And item 8.4 is the actual approval for items 8.1 through 8.3 on a consent basis.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis, items 8.1 through 8.3.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Item 9.1 includes an addendum. We have several new hires for classified staff that we seek your approval. If you note from the agenda, they are across a variety of departments, but we do recommend approval of the specific category of new hires.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Shanks?
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky.
Yes.
Okay, this is the second opportunity for public participation for items not on the agenda. Seeing none, does anybody have anything else? Then I would move we go into executive session for the purposes of
The consideration of the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee.
so moved.
Thank you.
Ms. Shanks?
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Ruslan Slutsky.
Yes.
Tammy Lavalette.
Yes.
And Kimberly Conklin.
Yes.
And we will not be taking action following executive session.